6 months ago, I became the most hated woman in America. My face was plastered across every social media platform. My name was trending on Twitter for 3 straight days, and I received over 50,000 death threats. I was labeled a Karen, lost my job, had to move out of my neighborhood, and my daughter stopped speaking to me. But what nobody knows is that the viral video that destroyed my life only showed 30 seconds of a 2-hour incident. And those 30 seconds were completely taken out of context. I'm about to tell you what really happened that day, and I guarantee it's not what you think. If you've ever been judged, based on a single moment without knowing the full story, you need to hear this. And if you're new here, this channel is about giving people a chance to tell their side when the internet has already made up its mind. So hit that subscribe button, because the truth is always more complicated than a viral video. My name is Rebecca Martinez, and I'm a 43-year-old single mother from Thousand Oaks, California. Until 6 months ago, I was a regional manager at a medical supply company, lived in the same neighborhood for 8 years, and coached my daughter Emma's soccer team on weekends. I had a normal, quiet life that nobody cared about. Until one Saturday afternoon at Westfield Shopping Center changed everything. It was March 15th, around 2 p.m., and I was at the mall, with Emma picking out decorations for her 15th birthday party. We'd been planning this party for months. It was going to be her first big birthday celebration since her father and I divorced 2 years ago, and I wanted everything to be perfect. Emma had saved up money from her part-time job at a local ice cream shop to buy these specific string lights she'd seen on Instagram. They were these trendy LED strips that could sync with music, and she was absolutely obsessed with getting them for her party room. We went to this electronics store, called TechZone, and Emma found exactly what she wanted. The lights cost $89, which was every penny she'd saved over 3 months of working weekends. She was so excited, counting out her crumpled $20 bills at the register. The cashier was this young guy, maybe 19 or 20, named Marcus according to his name tag. He seemed friendly enough, scanning the lights and chatting with Emma about her party plans. Everything was normal until he ran her payment through. "Sorry," he said. "Your card was declined." Emma looked confused. "That's impossible. I checked my balance this morning. I have exactly $89.23 in my account." Marcus ran it again. Still declined. Emma's face started turning red. You know how teenagers get when they're embarrassed in public. I decided to help her out. I offered to pay for the lights myself, and she could pay me back later. But when Marcus scanned the item again, something weird happened. The price came up as $129, not $89. "Excuse me," I said. "That's not the right price. The tag says $89. Marcus looked at his screen, then at the product, then back at his screen. "Oh yeah, the system automatically updated the price. We had a price increase this morning." I pointed to the shelf display. "But the tag still says $89. If the price changed this morning, shouldn't the tags be updated too?" That's when things started going downhill. Marcus shrugged. "I don't know. I just scan what the computer tells me to scan." Other customers were starting to line up behind us. I could feel the pressure mounting, but something about this situation didn't feel right. I asked to speak to a manager. "This is where I need you to understand something about my personality. I'm naturally detail-oriented. It's literally my job. In medical supply management, if you don't pay attention to pricing discrepancies, people can get overcharged for life-saving equipment. I've caught billing errors that saved hospitals thousands of dollars. Being thorough isn't being difficult. It's being responsible." The manager, a woman named Jessica, came over, and I explained the situation. "The shelf tag says $89, but the system is charging $129. I asked if they could honor the posted price, or at least explain why there's a discrepancy. Jessica looked at the shelf, looked at the computer, and said, "The computer is always right. The tag is wrong." "Okay," I said, "but legally, don't you have to honor the posted price? There are consumer protection laws about this." That's when Jessica's attitude completely changed. She crossed her arms and said, "Ma'am, I don't know what laws you're talking about, but our policy is that the computer price is the final price." I wasn't trying to be difficult. I was trying to understand why a $40 price difference existed, and whether it was legal for them to charge more than the posted price. In California, there actually are laws about price accuracy. If the scanned price is higher than the posted price, retailers are supposed to honor the lower price. But the conversation was getting heated, and Emma was looking mortified. She just found out with her bank that there was a temporary hold on her account. That would be released the next business day, and she just wanted to leave. I should have left too. I should have said, "Forget it, we'll come back tomorrow." But Emma had been looking forward to this shopping trip for weeks, and seeing her disappointed face made me want to fix the situation. So I made a decision that would ruin my life. I decided to stand my ground. "I'd like to speak to the store manager, not a shift supervisor," I said. "This seems like a pricing error that needs to be resolved." Jessica rolled her eyes. "I am the store manager. Then I'd like corporate's contact information. Because I think there's been a mistake." That's when Jessica said something that set me off. "Look, lady, either buy it at the current price or leave. Stop holding up my line with your complaints." Now I'll admit it. I lost my temper. Not because of the money, but because of the dismissive attitude. I'd been polite, reasonable, and patient for 20 minutes, and I was being treated like I was causing problems for asking legitimate questions about a pricing discrepancy. "I'm not complaining," I said, my voice getting louder. "I'm asking you to explain why your store is charging $40 more than the posted price. That's a 50% markup from what's advertised." Other customers were definitely staring now. Emma was tugging on my sleeve, begging me to just leave. But I was frustrated and felt like I was being gaslit. Like I was crazy for expecting basic customer service. Jessica stepped closer to me and said, "Ma'am, you need to calm down." And that phrase, "you need to calm down," is like a red flag to a bull for me. It's what my ex-husband used to say when I'd bring up legitimate concerns about our marriage. It's what my former boss used to say when I'd point out problems with our inventory system. It's a phrase designed to make you feel like your concerns aren't valid. "I am calm," I said. "I'm asking reasonable questions about your pricing policy." That's when someone behind me started recording. I didn't know I was being filmed. I didn't know that 30 seconds of our 2-hour shopping trip was about to be broadcast to millions of people. I didn't know that my frustration over a pricing discrepancy was about to be edited and recontextualized to make me look like an entitled monster. The video starts with me saying, "I demand to speak to your manager," which sounds terrible without context. It doesn't show the 20 minutes of polite questions before that. It doesn't show Jessica being dismissive and rude. It doesn't show Emma's disappointment or my genuine confusion about the pricing error. The video shows me pointing my finger at Jessica and saying, "This is ridiculous customer service," which looks aggressive when you don't know. I'd been trying to resolve a simple pricing question for half an hour. But the worst part, the part that made me go viral for all the wrong reasons, was when I said, "I know my rights as a customer." In context, I was referring to consumer protection laws about price accuracy. But in a 30-second video with no background, it sounded like entitled Karen nonsense. The video ends with me storming out of the store, Emma trailing behind me looking embarrassed. What it doesn't show is that I left because Emma begged me to, not because I was throwing a tantrum. Within 6 hours, the video had 500,000 views. By the next morning, it was on the front page of Reddit, with the title entitled Karen Loses Her Mind Over $40. TikTok remixed it with sound effects and commentary. Twitter turned it into a meme. And just like that, I became the face of everything people hate about middle-aged white women. The comments were brutal. People called me a racist, even though this had nothing to do with race. People said I was abusing retail workers, even though I'd been polite until the very end. People made assumptions about my politics, my income, my parenting, my entire personality based on 30 seconds of video. But the worst part was that people started doxing me. Someone figured out where I worked and started calling my company, demanding I be fired. Someone found my address and posted it online with my phone number. Someone found Emma's social media accounts and started harassing her at school. My company fired me 3 days later, not because I'd done anything wrong at work, but because the negative publicity was damaging to the brand. 8 years of perfect performance reviews. But one viral video was enough to destroy my career. Emma's friends started avoiding her. Parents from her soccer team asked me to step down as coach. Our neighbors stopped making eye contact when we passed on the street. The psychological toll was devastating. I couldn't leave the house without wondering if someone would recognize me. I couldn't go online without seeing my face attached to posts about Karen behavior. I started having panic attacks in grocery stores. Emma blamed me for ruining her life. "Why couldn't you just let it go?" she asked. "Why did you have to make such a big deal over stupid lights?" And you know what? She was right. I should have let it go. But not for the reasons people think. I should have let it go because I didn't realize how quickly a reasonable disagreement could be weaponized by social media. I didn't understand that nuance and context don't exist in viral videos. I didn't know that asking questions about store policies could be reframed as entitled behavior. 3 weeks after the video went viral, something interesting happened. Another customer posted on Reddit about TechZone at Westfield. She'd had the exact same experience. Shelf prices that didn't match computer prices, managers who refused to honor posted prices, dismissive customer service when she asked questions about billing discrepancies. Her post got buried with 12 upvotes. Mine got turned into a national conversation about entitled customers. The difference? She didn't get filmed. I started looking into TechZone's business practices and found dozens of complaints about pricing discrepancies. Customers reporting 20, 50, even $100 differences between shelf prices and checkout prices. The Better Business Bureau had multiple reports about bait-and-switch tactics. It turns out I was right about the pricing laws. California does require retailers to honor posted prices when there's a discrepancy. TechZone was breaking the law, and I was the one who got crucified for pointing it out. But by then, the narrative was set. I was a Karen, and Karens don't get to be right about consumer protection laws. I hired a lawyer to explore defamation options, but he told me the truth about viral videos. Once you're a meme, you're basically powerless. The original video was protected speech, and the millions of reposts and remixes fell under fair use. There was no legal remedy for having my life destroyed by a 30-second clip. That's when I made the decision to leave California. Emma and I moved to Portland, Oregon, where nobody knew our faces. I changed my hair, started going by my middle name, and found a job at a small company that didn't do extensive social media background checks. Emma started at a new school where she could reinvent herself. It took months, but eventually she forgave me. Not for asking questions about pricing. She still thinks I should have let it go. But for not understanding how the internet works.
Mom, you grew up before social media. You didn't know that one bad moment could follow you forever. But I did, and I should have warned you.
She was right. I'm from a generation that grew up believing in due process, assuming people would want to hear both sides of a story before passing judgment. I didn't understand that. Viral videos are designed to trigger emotional responses, not rational analysis. The internet doesn't want nuance. It wants heroes and villains. It wants clear good guys and obvious bad guys. It wants simple stories that confirm what people already believe about the world. A middle-aged woman asking questions about store policies isn't a simple story. It's not obviously right or obviously wrong. It requires context and judgment, and the possibility that both sides made mistakes. But a Karen losing her mind over nothing? That's a simple story. That's a clear villain everyone can hate without feeling bad about it. Here's what I learned from becoming an unwilling internet celebrity. The person in the viral video is never the full story. There's always context that gets lost, nuance that gets edited out, humanity that gets ignored. Before you share a video of someone's worst moment, remember that you're sharing someone's life. That 30-second clip could destroy a career, end relationships, force someone to move across the country to escape harassment. I'm not saying I was perfect that day. I could have handled the situation better. I could have walked away earlier. I could have lowered my voice and accepted that. Sometimes customer service sucks, and there's nothing you can do about it. But I don't think I deserve to have my life destroyed for asking questions about a pricing error. The real tragedy is that TechZone never changed their pricing practices. The viral video became about my behavior, not their business practices. They got to keep overcharging customers, while I became the poster child for entitled behavior. If you're still watching this, I want you to remember something. Every viral video is a real person, having their worst day broadcast to millions of strangers. Every meme is someone's life being reduced to a punchline. I don't expect sympathy. I don't expect everyone to agree with my side of the story. But I hope next time you see a video of someone behaving badly in public, you'll pause before sharing it and ask yourself, what context am I missing? What don't I know about this situation? Is this person's worst moment really worth destroying their entire life? Because once you're a meme, you never stop being a meme. 6 months later, people still recognize me occasionally. Emma still has to deal with classmates who remember her as the daughter of that Karen from the electronics store. We're rebuilding our lives, but we'll never fully escape that 30-second video. That's the price of living in an age where everyone has a camera. and no one has patience for complicated stories. If this resonated with you, please hit that like button and let me know in the comments if you've ever been judged based on incomplete information. Have you ever had your worst moment taken out of context? Share your story. Sometimes the best thing we can do is remind each other that we're all more complicated than our worst days. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories from people brave enough to tell their side when the internet has already made up its mind. Thanks for listening. And remember, there are always two sides to every story. Even when only one side goes viral,